Welcome back to Soul Purpose Leaders. Welcome back. Thank you for being here, for listening to us, for watching us. Today we have another speaker, another coach, and this is she's one of our amazing person, and we're here as normal. We're here to actually showcase these amazing leaders. Okay, I just want them for you to see them, but also for you to hear the story, who they are, where they come from, and what they're doing, what impact do they do for other people. And today's guest is an amazing man, amazing father, and he's here. His name is Jay Abasi. Jay is a sales trainer turned mindfulness coach. Jay's mission is to leverage his coaching and training skills developed at companies like Tesla and Solar City to support individuals or companies struggling with stress, burnout, uncertainty, or a lack of motivation. Also, Jay provides us with amazing quote. The practice of mindfulness is not new, but what Jay brings to mindfulness is a total game changer. Coming from corporate and fusing his magnetic teaching and practical application, many groups and his were immediately reverted to his message. He's referring to the scientific efficacy as well as the ease and basic ability for anyone, anywhere to benefit from it. One of many things they loved about Jay, his generosity spirit to help others combine with the highest level of professionalism. Loren Greiff, founder and president of Portfolio Rockets, the one who wrote this. Thank you so much, Jay, for being with us. Welcome.
Thank you, Barke. I really appreciate that beautiful and very humbling introduction. That was very kind of you. And grateful to be here with you. I'm grateful that you and I had the chance to get to know each other before this call. I learned about your story, which was very inspiring, and I'm happy to be here with you.
I'm very happy as well, and I'm so grateful to be here with you. Jay, tell us the moment you decide to actually follow your path on mindfulness.
So that's a great question. I don't know if there was a moment. I think that it was a series of moments that led me to make the change, because I could go back as far as when, for many of us, it's a situation we deal with, maybe a challenging one that ends up being transformative. And for me, experiencing the loss of my father, where it was sudden and not something that, he wasn't sick, it was a sudden heart attack, was one moment of the many series of moments that I can go back to and say, I realized that was something that caused a change in me. So from there, I was seeking out different ways in which I can manage through my own emotions. And also my mortality was very much brought to my face, that this life is short, and what are we doing with our time? So I sought out different ways in which I can improve. I found mindfulness, and it completely changed my life. It completely changed how I approached others, how I managed through my own emotions. And then it impacted my ability to be effective in the workplace in the most positive way. And it wasn't until I went on this journey. I worked for a company, Solar City, which was acquired by Tesla. I worked my way up through Tesla, and about a year ago, I left Tesla and started doing some consulting work in the field of sales, and it was very financially rewarding. However, I still felt there was something missing. So it wasn't until earlier this year, 2020, that I decided that I was going to shift the work that I did to serve people in the best way that I could and help them, because I see people struggle every day. When I worked at Tesla, I saw people who did great work, who were mission driven, but still felt burnt out. And I hear it all the time. And I figured there's nothing better that I can do with my life than to give people the tools to better manage those emotions and be resilient when times get tough.
That is so true, because it's happening everywhere in the world, and people get so busy because they're just following his money or whatever the reason that they're following to ensure that they get what they wanted. But are they really getting what they wanted in a healthy way? That's the question. Now, so you walked your way from Tesla, and you went into sales, and you saw this problem. Now, tell me, how did you get yourself to start? Did you do like one-to-one? Did you go into just an organization? Where did you start?
So when I first started in sales consulting, I was doing organizations. But when it came to mindfulness consulting and mindfulness coaching, I started at a one-on-one level. And that included taking everything that I've learned, all of my certifications and all of my teaching and the years of practice, and offering it to an individual. And what I realized was that's incredibly fulfilling, for one, to help somebody at a one-on-one level. And it also was very helpful for me in that I could see what the needs are of the individual, right? If you go right into an organization, you're going at a macro level and trying to figure out how to solve these problems. But really, it's every individual has this challenge. As you said, it's a problem we are facing in the world with this pandemic and the uncertainty that arises. It's spotlighting something that's always been there, but it's just spotlighting it, getting the tools, the understanding, and a structure so that we could see someone who went from, I am just riding these waves of uncertainty and I'm constantly dealing with this stress, to I am taking control of my life, giving myself the self-care that I need, and then being able to go out to the world a better version of myself.
That's really amazing, because a lot of people, so again, they have the responsibility of family. They have that, I have to look after my family. I have to make sure the bills are paid. I have to make sure everything else has been looked after, but they forget who they are or what about their own needs. So let's talk about that at this moment. A person is busy. A person is always making sure that everyone else is happy, everyone else is being looked after, but they don't look after themselves. What is the one thing you would say, or maybe more than one thing, would you say for them to realize who they are? Because sometimes we don't realize that it's me. I'm that person that put everyone else's first. I'm that person that put what are the needs or happiness before my own, because there's this way of people thinking that they're being selfish or being neglecting if they do look after themselves.
Yeah, I think you and I talked about this a lot last time we spoke. I'm remembering, and it's extremely important. And you're right, so many people fall into this. And I might say something that could potentially throw people off, but I actually think it's selfish to not do it. In other words, it's selfish to put other people first. And here's why. When you're doing that, you're really only focusing on trying to please your own desire of helping others and please your own desire of not letting people down. And so you're going out and you're going out and you're doing this. And in that way, it's actually more selfish because you're not giving in a way that could truly help the other person in a selfless way. If you truly want to help others and be a great parent or be a great leader at work, be a great manager, whatever, you need to be the best version of you. So the best version of you requires that you put yourself first so you can better serve others. So that would be the first thing I would say conceptually, is there needs to be a shift in this idea that, oh, well, I'd be selfish if I did something for myself and didn't put my kids first or whatever. No, you're kids, and be more selfless if you make the time, and I'm using those words carefully, make the time. You make the time for yourself. Now, the reason I said make the time was many people say, well, I don't have the time. I don't have the time. Well, you're right. You don't have the time. You have to make the time, right? No one has spare time. Take the time. So how do we make the time? It might be that we wake up a little earlier, or that means we go to bed a little earlier. We have to sacrifice something else. We sacrifice our cell phone time scrolling through Instagram, or we sacrifice the time in front of the TV or whatever it is to give ourselves that self-care of even 15 minutes, whatever it is in the morning, to look at ourselves, to go within and allow ourselves to put ourselves first.
That's so true. And I love your answer, because a lot of people are going through this, and the way you put it there, it is selfish if you don't look after yourself. And that is perfect. It's just really knock on the nail, whatever the word is. But yeah, that's the way to do it. Now, another question is that the way you said about time, and the way you said exactly, everything has to be a sacrifice in everything you do, because it's give and take. So let's actually look at our own self before we can even think about what is the most important thing, would you say, for a person who has never done mindfulness, has never done self-development. What is the first thing they can do for themselves to give them back their own self-care?
The first thing that they can do, well, we already touched on it, is make time, because you need the time. Time is something that you're never going to find on its own, and you never get it back either. It's the only resource that is never abundant. We know, like, time is so you need to make the time. That's the first, is to develop a practice for yourself that aligns with your values. So everyone has their own belief systems, whether it's a religion, whether it's not religious, whether it's secular, whether it doesn't need to impede on that in any way. Mm-hmm. It's its own practice where you are sitting quietly, and the one that many people know is they go to the breath and they observe their breathing, and do this for maybe 1 minute, maybe 2, whatever is an easy way to start for you. That's manageable. And it could be as a tip that I would even say is go with a breathing technique to start. And one that I find very useful is a 4-7-8 technique. So we could do it at any moment, where we take a breath in for 4 seconds, we hold it for 7 seconds, and then we exhale for 8 seconds. Anyone can do this at any time, and it doesn't take a lot of time, right? Even just that, as a start, could be your first step into mindfulness, and then expanding on that. 500 pounds on the first day that you go to exercise. You start with something small, and then you build yourself up.
That's really true, because breathing, it takes a lot out of you, like overloading, overwhelming anxiety, depression even. It helps a lot. Now, we don't even think about those things, and it is actually really good for us. Now, okay, let's go back to you now. So now you are doing these amazing things, okay? What is your next step? What is ahead for you? What is the next goal?
So my plan is to find, in any way that serves this purpose, which is to help people to be more awake, aware, and to be more resilient. Whatever that channel is, I'm going to look into it. So right now, the next one that I am working on is an online program, since we're in a world where everything is online, right? We can't meet within person. It is video content, it is activities, it is workbooks, and it's quite engaging. It's a program that I've taken a lot of time to put together so I could make it educational as well as entertaining. And I've used a lot of the training techniques I've learned from my time at Tesla and other roles to put it into this online program. So that's what I'm going to be, that's my number one priority, as well as, and from there, who knows, Barke, I I don't let myself get too far into the future, because then I'm starting to get too attached to potential results, which is the opposite of what I preach. I instead put out there what I'm hoping to do and how I wish to serve. And I'm going to allow however that arises to come, whether that's in the form of writing a book, whether that's the form of continuing in public speaking, or some other way, shape, or form. I'm open to it. But those two things, which is the online program and coaching, are what I'm doing in the near future.
Wow, that's beautiful. And it's a lot anyway. So it's good to be busy for that one at the moment. And that's the key. So, and also it is understandable because we need to ground ourselves. We can't be dreaming so big that we fly with a dream. You know what I mean? And we're not really here on the earth and thinking what is our life is, or what we're doing is actually going to that dreams or that desire. Are we hitting those targets? Are we doing the right thing for ourselves? So it's true. Thank you for that. And tell us, now that you know this is what you want to do, is there anything you actually enjoy in yourself, that you, like a routine that you actually feel good about it, that you's like, this is my one thing I love doing?
Well, one thing that has become routine for me is my meditation practice, and I look forward to it every day. So when I wake up, my routine is, I do what I need to do to take care of myself, right? And then after that, I make myself a cup of coffee and I sit and I meditate, and I meditate for as long as I do it for. It could be 20 minutes, it could be an hour. And that's just my style. I sit and I allow things to arise as they arise. And that really sets me up for the day. And I find that the days, and it's rare that I miss, but the days that I miss it, I do notice a difference. You become very aware of this moment. And so with meditation practice consistently, I find great joy in it. It's not work for me. It's great joy. Outside of that, playing sword fighting with my 8-year-old daughter in the backyard on a nice sunny day is something I also find a great deal of joy in, as well as I'm too big. I can't fit into the spaces anymore. And she's got these great spots. She's gotten really good at it. So those are a few things that come to mind.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much. And because of what's happening and what is coming for you and the events, the things that you're going to do, would you be able to tell us, where do you hang out the most in social media? Where can we find you? And, like your website, places that we can get more information of what is coming.
Sure. So I consider LinkedIn to be a second home. It's like an online community full of positive and incredible human beings, such as yourself, Parquet, where we met. And so LinkedIn is one place where you can find me. And my website does have a lot of information. I include a free newsletter through my website, where you can get weekly tips and blog posts on mindfulness. And I include a great deal of detail in those blog posts. So it's www.jaybasi.me. And you'll find that information. So those would be the two places I would say, my website and LinkedIn. I haven't yet ventured into too many other social media platforms. I probably should, but as you know, it's very time consuming to do.
It is, and time you need to do better things. So yes, we get it. And also, what is the one thing would you like to share to these amazing people in this world today? If it's your last message in this earth, what would you like to share?
I would say to go within. And what I mean by that is go within to discover yourself. There's no other discovery that is as important than self-discovery. There's nothing else. What else is there to know that is more important than knowing yourself? And we ride these waves of life. And it took me 28 years to figure this out. If anyone's hearing this who's younger than that, hopefully you can get to it before I did. To go within and really ask those questions and look and understand and know the thought patterns that you have, the programming that exists there, Because once you truly know yourself and you go within, you can make real change and transform your life and manifest the life that you really want for yourself.
Wow, that's amazing. And that is the truth, because if you know yourself, you can change. You can make a big difference in yourself, but also to other people. And people will love you the way you are. So that's, oh my goodness. Thank you so much, Jay. Thank you. And I just want to say, for everyone who's listening, get in touch with Jay. Actually know yourself, but also having mindfulness in your life, it's key here. Would you like to say any other things before we close for today?
Just a big thank you, Barke, for this time and for having me on. This was a wonderful conversation, and I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Jay. And you are an amazing human being. And I wish to ask you one last thing. Would you be willing to come back here again?
Absolutely. Would love to. I'd love to keep the conversation going.
That's great, because I've got great vision for this platform. And so I will knock your door one day. Thank you so much, Jay. And I wish you the best of day. And for everybody else, keep tuned for the next guest who's coming up. Take care, everybody. And I shall speak to you soon.